Welcome back to the channel. We're glad you're here. We've got another match to talk about today. This one is between Avery Yebernetsky and Vince Sauceda. There was a recent pro-only invite tournament that took place in Houston. I think it was run by Chris Gibson and Colin Cummings.
Yeah, Chris Gibson and Colin Cummings. Yeah, were the main team.
And maybe Ben Haim.
Yeah, I think Ben Haim helped.
Okay.
It was really sort of Chris Gibson's brainchild.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so it was an exciting event. We got some coverage of it. Colin Cummings on his stream posted a number of the matches, and like we've done a couple times before, we're going to watch one of them and analyze it for everybody. So excited to do that. As far as what's going on in the world of air hockey,
Well, there's been a lot of recent discussion in the kind of the air hockey forums all the players use, talking about two kind of main topics lately. There's been a lot of discussion about players who are the best of all time at different aspects of the game. Always the kind of conversation people love to have, to debate and argue about. And so there was one post talking about who were the top 5 offensive players of all time that I made. And then Billy made Billy Stubbs, great 4-time world champion, made a post asking who are the top 5 defensive players.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, what's the true answer?
Right. That's a good question. I think it's always it's interesting whenever anything comes up, right? Because it's impossible not to be biased in some level in these discussions, and can really only speak from your era,
personal experience.
Yeah, what you've played against.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I read the threads, and I did notice a couple of times there were people that had listed in their list folks that I don't think they ever played against. Maybe they've seen him on video. I don't know. I know there's very little video of Owen Geraldo out there. And I think a lot of people would say that he was a great defensive player. I think mainly because that was the better part of his game.
Right.
I don't know if he really was like one of the best of all time in terms of that skill defensively. But if you had to say, is this guy better at offense or defense, you would say, well, he's better at defense. And I think that is an interesting thing that sort of gets wound up in those discussions. Is number one, confusing whether the person was just better at one part of the game and therefore you sort of think they're better at that than they are amongst the field of the best. And then also the personal experience aspect of it is, oh man, it was really hard for me to score on this guy. Therefore, that guy must have one of the best defenses in the game, or whatever. That one guy scored on me a lot, so he must have one of the best offenses in the game. So it's interesting. It's fun. You should go and check it out. Say your opinion. Let us know what you think on who the best offensive players of all time, the best defensive players of all time are. What else?
Some
more matches.
Yeah, more matches always going on. We're kind of getting into the final stretch here, about a month out from Worlds. There's been Mike Cummings had a great victory over Danny Hines, where he beat him actually 4-0. So very dominant victory, definitely an upset.
Right.
That was impressive. And then there was recently a match between Mike and Brian, and Brian won that match 4-1. But the game count, Brian Ocrocco.
Okay.
But the game count was definitely closer, I would say, than 4-1 would usually lead you to believe.
Okay.
I don't remember the count, but it seems like Mike Cummings is playing really good air hockey, and that's of course the father of Colin and Connor Cummings.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
As far as other match, I'm playing Jacob Munoz a rematch this weekend. Challenged me earlier this year for my then number 2 ranking, took it from me. So yeah, I'm challenging him again because I want it back.
You want it back? Yeah. Okay. Well, that should be an exciting match. Yeah. You guys played at this pro tournament we're going to be showing this match from. Yeah. What happened in that one?
I won the set we played in the pro tournament.
Okay.
But he won the set we played the tournament before that in North Carolina State.
Okay.
The tournament before that, I won the final set we played, but he won the first set we played that tournament.
Okay.
So we've been trading sets back and forth. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a fun match.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's going to be this weekend.
Yes, this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a match between your sister, Sarah Weissman, and Nathan Buss of Idaho.
Yeah.
That's sort of become a bit of a rivalry there. I believe that Sarah defeated him the first challenge match they played, and then he wanted her to. He convinced her to have a rematch pretty quickly after, like maybe the next day or something.
Yeah.
And then he beat her, and so I think that sort of left her hungry to return and see if she could overcome. And that was actually a really exciting match to watch. It was streamed on the Idaho YouTube channel, so if you want to check it out, it was it's a fun match to watch. And I'd say that Sarah looked like she had made some significant improvements in her game, which made a big difference in that match. Maybe that's one that we could analyze at some point. But as far as this match goes, we've got Avery Yebernetsky versus Vince Sauceda. Avery has not beaten Vince before, I don't think.
He has. He's beaten Vince. Sat in a... I think he... Yeah, I forget which tournament, but I know Avery's beaten Vince's set before in a tournament.
Okay. All right. Well, I believe, what was it, 2 years ago, Avery finished, what was it, top 10, top 5? 2 years ago.
2 years ago, he didn't play. His last tournament was in 2019.
Okay, but then I know he played before he came back. Okay, and what did he finish back in 2019?
He finished fourth.
Okay, and it was like high up there, top.
Yeah,
okay.
fourth.
Then he came back and he took a break. He came back 2022, last Worlds. He finished lower. Right? Low. 14 or something?
Yeah, something around that. Okay. Yeah.
All right, lower than he would have liked. And so since then, I know that he has been putting in some time to improve and sharpen his game. And so this is the first set of the finals of the Pro Invite tournament, which happened very recently, like within the last month. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, stick around. Here we go. This is the first set of the finals, and Vince is in the winner's side.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So this is the first set of the Pro/Master Invitational tournament here in Houston, Texas at the 7-6. Vince beat Avery earlier in the tournament to put him in the losers, and then Avery, just after beating me, his practice partner in the semifinals, is now playing Vince in the finals. So he needs 2 sets to win.
Gotcha. It was a nice left wall over.
And I will say, being there, Avery's first loss against Vince was pretty one-sided. Vince kind of dominated him. So we'll see, if Avery can figure something out this set.
So cross?
Yeah, cross.
Yeah, this camera angle, unfortunately, is not the best. Another good over.
Ooh, that's a beautiful.
So it was interesting
kind of
because
like-
it was just sort of a sudden cut.
Yeah.
You don't usually.
It's almost like a boom boom, but a cut.
Yeah, you don't
You know?
usually expect those to necessarily
Yeah.
score, but he had it in the right position.
And maybe it kind of looked like a cross to Avery.
Yeah.
Interesting to note, these are both left-handed players. I think this is the first like left-handed finals of any time we've had in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking. Oof, I don't even know if I can recall of any.
I mean, was there ever between Robbins and Vince Chappelle maybe?
Finals?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Vince is
Yeah, he
definitely seems like he's dominating here. Now he's trying to get kind of cute and do a few semi-pump fakes. One thing I'll say is I don't think Avery takes kind to somebody sort of
no.
trying to be a little cute against him. I think that probably fires him up.
Yeah, you do not want to do anything to intentionally upset Avery when you're playing him. He feeds off a bit.
Yeah, he plays with it better when he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You know, some people don't.
That was a good block.
Yeah. Yeah, he was blocking the over and the under in that spot. It's really a hard position to get to.
Yeah, Avery's also a player who he needs to gear up, get himself into it. He tends to start cold.
Got to rev the engine a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that cut again, just right in the right spot. Yeah, Avery lost possession there, just going for a transition shot that he probably should just grab the puck. A little out of control.
Beautiful left wall over there by Vince.
Yeah, so that's been several left wall overs. He goes for another one, misses.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to win when scoring that shot on you.
Yeah. Interesting. So he's going for this sort of a quick cut. Nice transition there. Goes for this quick cut or the left wall over. This is sort of what he's doing. They both go to the same spot on the goal. It's fascinating.
Oh, you're going for a cross there, though. Oh, that's
Okay.
That's the shot for Avery. That cut. Beautiful under there. Good shot selection by Vince. Seen that a couple times where Avery's just barely missing his shot.
That was nice because he had a good delay on that shot. Like that, similar.
Yeah.
And that was interesting because Vince, he went to try to block that cut, and Avery scored an over that was under his mallet.
Yeah, I mean, if the shot's deceptive enough, it
Doesn't have to be
necessarily
super
need
hard.
Be that accurate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's that cut.
Touch. Just missed the shot. Missed the shot and hit it off the table. Oh, beautiful cut by Vince. So much of his body motion said left wall.
He's really, really, really going for that cut. do a quick pop in or left wall over. I think Avery needs to go back to that cut. I don't know.
All right, so Avery losing that game on the back of 2 unforced errors in a row, knocking off the table, and then a self-score. Interesting to see how, that could be real deflating for someone.
Yeah, for sure.
Playing against such a high-level player like Vince, who, does not make that many unforced errors.
Right.
Good to get by Vince.
Mm-hmm.
Tell Avery's...
So far Avery's won the transition game.
Yeah, I was going to say from his grunts, you can tell he's getting angry. He's gearing up. You got to gear up a little quicker, in my opinion. Got to maybe do something before the match. You don't want to find yourself down in a hole 2-0 and then start feeling it. Yeah.
And if that's something that typically happens, then I think a player needs to know that about themselves and then do whatever they need to mentally before matches. Because, it definitely, if you watch him now, it looks like he's into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Avery.
Yeah, he rushed that shot. Again, another transition. It's a good block.
Yeah.
And good get. Vince is really good at that type of a get. Just redirecting the puck barely so that it bounces back to his side.
Beautiful cross there.
4-1.
Great.
Yeah, it's
Cross
interesting.
by Avery.
4-2.
Ooh, great get.
Yeah. Nice. It was a rushed shot on Avery's part. It was just a good block.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good block
Yeah.
there. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of Vince's Achilles heel on defense, is sort of pushing out and trying hard to block those straights and then just getting underscored in on them. That's like what I meant right there.
Yeah. Great shot by Avery. He really gave himself time to fully wind up and kind of put that puck in a deceptive position.
Yeah. You see that face on
Yeah.
Avery? Okay, so it took him 2 games. Now he seems to be into this match.
He's developing like a Neanderthal, lower lip of some kind.
Yeah. And it's interesting, though, because in air hockey, there's this culture of being very emotive, screaming, doing all of that. And that's sort of, I guess, developed over the years. It wasn't always like that. There were certain players, but it wasn't as prominent as it is now. I think when Jose Mora came into the sport and was really, really over the top emotive and screaming really loud, it sort of set the tone for a generation of players that's the way to do it.
Well, I will tell you, speaking of Jose, the only other finals Avery has ever been in was the, I think, 2011 Junior World Championship Finals, where he beat Colin Cummings. And part of his the trophy for that was actually Jose Mora donated his, I I think, the trophy he won in like his first nationals.
Oh, that's cool.
So Avery actually has Jose's trophy, and maybe kind of part of that essence.
Yeah, the essence of Jose inside him. Some people will argue that air hockey it encourages that because it's a very intense sport.
Oh, self-score by Vince.
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic. But air hockey is an intense sport that is shrunk down to a small space, and therefore it enhances that emotion. I'm not sure I buy it, but that's the argument I've heard.
Beautiful.
I've always found it seems a bit disingenuous. Some of the screams and things that happen, almost as if I'm trying to pump myself up, or seem a certain way rather than it being genuine. Mark Robbins used to talk about, I'm trying to remember who it was that said to him that there were a lot of insincere grunts.
Yeah, I'll say that for me, I've experimented with grunting and trying to be loud to kind of amp myself up, and it doesn't. It's worked a few times, but in general, it just doesn't work for me. I end up getting too amped up, too kind of wild-eyed.
Yeah.
But for a player like Avery, I think it kind of just arises very authentically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's that over again.
And I mean, speaking of that, Vince, I don't know if the man's ever grunted in his life. He's kind of the essence of that sort of Billy Stubbs like calm, cool, and collected when he's playing. So it kind of makes it an interesting matchup in that way, Avery versus Vince.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure Billy comes to mind when I think of calm, cool, and collected, but
how he tends to present that way, I think, when he plays.
Interesting.
At least to me.
And while we've been babbling here, we've got a great match, 6-5. And Billy goes for the cross rather than the cut. Avery. We were talking Billy, and I saw cross, so I thought Billy.
I mean, anytime a cross is scored, Billy smiles.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so Avery kind of has been finding that cross and, used that to score the final 2 points that game.
That's that cut. It's just sort of a quick, put it in a position.
So Avery's battled back here to take away the 2-game handicap he gave himself.
And, unfortunately the camera died. It will return shortly for Game 6, we are told. There we go. I will say this is a better angle at least.
Yeah. So this is I think the live feed camera they use there.
Yeah, it looks like it ran out of batteries.
Okay, and so you can really see from this angle just how Avery's setting that cut in a way when it's when it's correct, where just the lane is completely open.
The sound delay on the puck, though, is unfortunate. I love the angle, but the sound.
Not the sound delay.
I'd tell you to turn the sound off, but then you can't hear what we have to say, our brilliant comments that we're going to give you.
Avery gets that puck back. Yeah, that was rushed.
So we'll get for Game 6, when Game 6 comes up, we'll get the other camera back.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll be going back. So see, when Avery is letting that drift a little more, executing it a little right of center, that's when Vince starts thinking, oh, okay, this is going to be a cut, comes out, and Avery can...
Mm-hmm. That seemed very rushed, and it was executed from the center of Avery's side.
Oh, that
nice
is
shot.
A beautiful cut.
Yeah. It's almost like Avery is getting ahead of himself.
Right.
And just what you said is, as soon as he goes over a little bit further, it becomes more deceptive.
It's a great get by Vince. He's so good at that.
Mm-hmm.
As we already said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just steady, you know?
Oh. Okay.
Oh, no, we don't get it back. Okay. Guess we're going to stick with this.
Maybe it's partway through Game 6 it comes back?
Maybe.
Oh, that, yeah. So really you can see... Okay. See, that one, it was interesting. I feel like Vince didn't drift it as far right as the one before it.
Right.
And so that's why we see that angle just being cut off. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's the other angle back. There's that cross where Avery's pulling back so it looks like a cut, and then because Vince is overcorrecting to block that cut, it just leaves that little hole for the cross.
That may have been over, but... Was that a cut again?
That was a...
The cross.
I'm
It's
not
so
sure.
hard to see from this
Oh.
angle.
You're rushing that shot.
Mm-hmm.
That was rushed too. It was a little too center.
Yeah, well, and he also was not accurate with it. It went right into the middle of the goal, into the middle of Vince's mallet.
Oh, that was...
That was just
and-
timed
and-
really
yeah,
well.
Yeah, that was inaccurate, but
Yeah.
timing was beautiful.
Yeah, timing was impeccable. Avery had no chance to block the shot.
I love how Vince hits his right walls.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's figured out like this brilliant way to hit it, almost as just like part of his normal drift a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. Just sort of rolls off of it.
Yes. Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah. Avery pulls Vince out and banks around him there.
Another thing that's really fascinating is the difference in speed of drift for both players. Vince is doing sort of this very medium speed drift where he's timing his shots, timing his pullback to
And
be
rip.
deceptive.
Yeah.
And then Avery is doing this reverse circle drift, which at times I would call fast.
Yes.
A few times he's slowed it down a smidgen.
Well, and Vince is using a lot of wrist primarily with a little arm, and Avery is Avery.
Oh yeah,
uses
it's
a lot
almost
of
all arm. Yeah. Hard to be super accurate when you're using your whole arm all the time. You've got to use the wrist as well. The wrist is the fine muscles that allow you to tune it just right at the very end.
That was open, which is inaccurate.
5 ball.
Yeah, that was I jerked in the chair. It was great. Great delay there.
Good block.
Rushed. It was one of the, you're down just trying to force the shot.
Yeah.
Interesting. Vince does a brow wipe into
To a left wall over.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see this replay. Oh, we don't see the brow wipe.
Yeah. So 3-3.
Yeah, 3-3.
We got a match.
So Avery, he pulled off 3 games in a row after being down 2-0. But,
Yeah, it's hard to maintain that intensity.
yeah, against a player like Vince especially.
I like that speed. Whatever that speed is for Avery, I like that speed. Yeah, that one right there. And what he's doing in terms of the delay, the amount of delay. That's been probably his number one shot in the match, Vince.
Yeah, a little more something.
It was good. He pulled it over just enough. I think that's smart. He's gone for so many overs.
Yeah.
Just really makes that under ripe. He tried to go for it again. Or maybe he just missed his over. It's possible. He definitely missed the over there. He's getting that cross.
Yeah.
That was smart. I think Avery frequently would have just transitioned, but he stopped the puck, set it up, and went for another great straight.
I do like that timeout by Vince. Just on the record.
Okay. I agree.
Timeout. What?
Yeah, Avery's playing at his peak level here in this game. The exact right speed of his drift, the exact right amount of delay in mixing the straights really well with the unders. Beautiful.
So you saw
Vince
Avery
goes back to his bread and butter.
You saw Avery grunting there. His calf actually started to lock up.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Wow. Great set.
All right.
Great
yeah,
comeback by Avery. The engine got revved up.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Hey, so air hockey's small, but it doesn't have to be. Please like, subscribe, share the videos. Check out Colin Cummings as well. He's the one that provided the content. Thank you.